Welcome, everyone, to the Drip G podcast. I'm your host, Uncle G, and with me, for once in his life, is Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also become a member of this podcast, get extra podcast content every single month, and you can also be here for when I mess up intros, because I guess I do that again now. Drip, what's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing's up, man. I'm just so excited because Nintendo dropped the most important piece of content.
Don't start this now.
Ever released.
Don't start it now,
Ever. We got a music app finally. Oh my god. I mean, I cannot contain my excitement for the music app. Nintendo Music on an app finally.
I don't.
We've been clamoring for it. We've been asking for it nonstop. Nintendo finally delivers.
You know, Drip, I can't exactly explain why that annoys me so much that you don't like this. Like you had said before we got on the show on the live stream, you had said that, you know, why are you so mad about this? You said, why are you defending this?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I had to defend it until I heard your trash opinion that this is bad. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't say it's bad.
You didn't say it was bad. What did you say, Drip? Go ahead, tell the people what you said.
It's just not necessary.
No. What did you say? What were the words you said?
I don't remember. What
you said that
remind me.
It wasn't that cool, is what you said.
It's not that cool.
All right, we're getting right into it. Forget everything else. We're getting right into this because I have been foaming at the mouth to yell at you about it.
Okay. Come on, let's talk about it.
I do not understand. And for the people who don't know what we're talking about, literally a few hours ago, Nintendo, would beat 'em ups. No offense. Nintendo,
Australian accent.
Yes, Nintendo. Yes. Nintendo announced that there is going to be a music streaming app that is only for Nintendo Switch Online members. It's included in your membership, and you get there's no Red Dead, but there's a whole library of other Nintendo properties in the app, including but not limited to Zelda, Pikmin, Mario. Nintendogs is in there, Donkey Kong. There's a lot, and they separate them by games as well, so you can go in there and check out your individual games. And there's some stuff missing right now. People in our Discord pointed out that Xenoblade is not there right now, and Xenoblade has some pretty solid music. So that's a kind of a big missing piece right now. But Nintendo
as far as other missing stuff, real quick.
Yeah,
the two Zelda games that have like the best music are missing too.
Which ones do you think are the best? Because that is
Wind
subjective.
Waker and Twilight Princess have the best music, for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's
really
yes.
You think that's the best two? We're gonna disagree about this then, aren't we? I think the best two music. Best two music. No,
best two music of Zelda.
I don't really have a second place. Really, I can't give you what my best top two.
What's your first one?
It's not even a question for me. It's Skyward Sword. It's not even a question in my mind.
Skyward Sword has really good music too.
And I'll tell you the main reason why. Now it's an unfair advantage. I will give you that. It's an unfair advantage, but it's the first Zelda game to incorporate actual orchestral. What's the word? Words are a struggle for me tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not like
arrangements, actual orchestral arrangements and performances from actual real people playing real instruments in an orchestra setting, recorded in a microphone. And that's unfair because if Wind Waker had that, I think Wind Waker might be the best Zelda game, to be honest with you, with music. But it is kind of an unfair advantage. But it's still, to me, no doubt, Skyward Sword. Now, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker don't have bad music. I just don't think that's not either my top game, for me, music wise. But anyway, so there is an app that you can download on iOS or Android only. So no PC app, no web app, nothing like that as of yet.
Yeah,
iOS,
that's another question I have.
And Android, you can download it right now. As far as this live stream is going up, and in the future, you guys should be able to have access to it as well. And it's got a ton of Nintendo IPs as far as music, and it's very customizable. I like the way the app works so far. There's some bugs. It crashed on me once, but that's okay. They'll fix it. Really cool feature is that you can extend certain tracks, not everything, but let's say there's a particular track that you are enjoying of pick what are your favorite Twilight Princess songs?
I don't know.
Okay, putting you on the spot.
I don't know
okay.
the names of any
just pick whatever your favorite track is. Assuming
Midna is whatever. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Something. Midna is something.
Yeah, Midna
the
something.
The one Chess always plays whenever I
raid
his stream. Well, I used to raid his streams on Twitch.
Yeah.
He would play that song on the piano.
So yeah, you pick one of your favorite Nintendo tracks, assuming that it's supported, because not every track is supported, but most tracks have this feature where you can extend it. So you can extend. So let's say it's like 2-minute song, but you really just want to hear it on loop, kind of like the Wii music, how we do our Wii music here on the show. You can extend that track. I think it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes, which is really cool. I love that feature. Just to add some extra time. And honestly, I feel like they made that feature for content creators. Like, I gotta be honest, like that is like the perfect content creator feature.
Yeah, I guess it is. But then again, they also don't have a way to get this stuff to a video because it's all stuck in the app.
Yeah, you have to find a way to hook up your phone's audio to your computer somehow. So yeah,
yeah,
it's
which
not
I mean,
impossible.
I guess isn't like it's not impossible, but still, I don't know. That was the other question I had. Are they gonna give? Are they going to give people shit for using that music in the background of videos or on videos? They're going to they say it's okay to use other stuff that we find around the internet, their music and footage from their games and stuff in videos, as long as it has something else over top of it as like their main thing.
As far as I know, there is no,
like this is
there's
fair
no,
game for that?
Yeah, as far as I know, there's no restriction for, what was I going to say? There's no restriction for like the music specifically in the app, right? How would Nintendo differentiate the music in the app versus all the stuff that's on YouTube? Because that's a fair criticism that you had that we can bring up now, is that you can listen to this stuff outside of the app, not necessarily more conveniently, which is where I think the app comes into play. It's much more convenient.
I'll give you that. It is. Once they get everything
it's
there.
a one-stop shop for all this music that they have. But the thing is, there's not enough music as of now, and all this music is available for free, because if you're not an NSO subscriber, you don't have access to it. But if you are, there are other places where you're able to actually, listen to this music. Mainly, let's just call it like it is, YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search your favorite track. It's on YouTube.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's all there. I mean, and that's okay. Let's get into like what. I don't hate this. First off, I just find it pointless. In most cases, it's just kind of dumb.
I'll give you a chance to correct what you just said. You believe it's pointless?
I see the point.
Okay.
Maybe pointless is not the correct word.
Okay.
But it doesn't have a whole lot of use cases where I'm like, oh man, finally an app with some Nintendo music on it that I can play in the app only. I don't know.
Let me ask you this question. If it was more easily and readily available on your computer where you could use this music for your content or stream,
that would be cool.
Would that change your opinion on the app? Like,
yes.
180?
Honestly, yeah, that would be really cool.
So your only holdup is that it's stuck in the phone.
Yeah, it doesn't really serve me any purpose.
Well, that's okay.
Again, that's a personal thing. Yeah, for other people, I can totally see that this is like amazing, especially for somebody who likes to listen to this music in its original form. That's great. There it is. For me, this does not serve any purpose, and I just see them. I see this trailer pop up you said to me earlier, and I look at it. I'm like, why? Like, why are they making such a big deal about this? And then on top of that, they're like, it's free as long as you have our online service for the Nintendo Switch. It has absolutely nothing to do with this music app, but we're gonna put it behind that paywall too. I mean, I understand what they're doing. They're putting it in the online service to just give the online service that one other extra little thing. Again, like maybe that'll be the little thing that pushes you over the edge. Like, oh, I want the music. I mean, I'll tell you this. That I will go back on what I said there, because that actually is a pretty good idea.
Which one?
One of the reasons to put it in the online service for the people who want the music. I'll tell you what. One of the reasons I still have YouTube Premium. I do like the fact that I get no ads, but I think at this point, for what I pay for that, I could handle the ads. But I use YouTube Music, and it comes with YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
That's basically why I'm keeping it right now, is because I use that. I've been using it.
Yeah.
That's a little different because there's a lot more going on in there. So I guess I can understand what they're trying to do. I feel like they probably should have launched with a little bit stronger library.
Not wrong about that.
I think that's the biggest thing where I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they have some of these are sound effects, like 5-second sound effects of Zelda turning around in Ocarina of Time. That's not a song.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's just light. It's light. That's kind of where I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't.
But see, that's all fixable things. It's not like they can't add more music in the future, and it's not like they can't adjust the getting rid of some of those, let's say unnecessary tracks if they get
take them out of like playlists that you've made. Like don't
that's
put
silly.
that
like if you
sound effect in a playlist. That's stupid.
Like it makes I was trying to explain this to you earlier, like and I think you understand. Like it makes context. Certain of those weird like 2 to 5 second sound effects. They make sense in the context of if you're listening to that game as an album, right? It's like it's a connector track because like it puts you in the experience of being in the game. For example, I was just listening to the Yoshi World, whatever that game. Which one is that? Yoshi's. My app is crashing. I'm trying to open the app and it's crashing. Ironically,
see, our prayers have been answered. The app is crashing. We can't even look at it. It's so great.
Yeah. Where I'm gonna find it quickly. It is the Yoshi. Oh my God, Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island on the NES.
Okay.
Sorry, SNES. It makes sense in context when you click on that music specifically. That it's like an album, right? You're in the main world, or you're in like the menu system, and then you click on a world to get into Yoshi, and then it plays like that track that I can fucking play it for you guys. What am I even doing?
Dude, they got Rainbow Road in here too. That's actually pretty cool.
Okay, here we go. So you're in the map screen, right? So you're in the map screen, then the next track after the map screen is, and then, so that quick like 8-second span, you go from the map screen to the stage start screen, which plays that little bump ba ba ba, and then you're in Flower Field BMG, which is what it's called. I don't know exactly what level it's called, but again, in context, it makes sense. It doesn't sound weird. But the Drips example, when he was playing the Zelda tracks, it was basically shuffle, but it wasn't really shuffle, and it played like 3 versions of Zelda's Lullaby, and then like a weird sound effect.
Well, that's the thing. It's not really shuffle.
That's not what I want. Yeah,
that's the order that Nintendo put this in as a playlist that they have curated. And it's like that's not a playlist. That's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm like, look at this, and I'm like, this is silly. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
another thing that this is where I'm at, like the biggest thing. And I know you said like, oh, it's it's all here. Like where stuff's here, it's gonna get better, this and that. But like, there are so many better versions of most of these songs that people have made that Nintendo doesn't have. It's not theirs. They can't put on this app.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to Nintendo music, the one thing that I really want to go listen to, and I listen to it still all the time, is it's like an orchestra version of the Wind Waker soundtrack.
Oh, Wind Waker. Okay, I have the one for Skyward Sword that's
also very good.
They came with the game, Skyward Sword, the original game. I ripped that to my computer. I love that.
The Wind Waker, dude, it's so good. Like the Great Sea, it is just amazing. Nintendo they can't do shit about that. That's somebody, I'm listening to something right now.
Yeah.
Game Chops, Zelda and Chill.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff's good. I would rather go listen to that than these original tracks, honestly.
You're not wrong. It's actually one thing I looked for on this app is that. And I think you're down on this app because I think you're missing the point, okay? It's not about what is currently here right now. We're literally not even an hour into the existence of this app, okay? It's going to develop. They've created the Nintendo streaming music service. Like, we are at the infancy of this thing, the possibilities of it. This can literally become a Spotify competitor, like easily. And I'll tell you how. Number one, the most easy and basic thing is to just get all of their music that isn't here, all the music they've created for all their stuff, all their games, get it on the application. That alone is going to add a hell of a value to this app, okay? There is so much good music. So much good Nintendo music that I have probably, or you at home, have probably never even heard before. And you're going to get exposed to it in this app, which I think would be awesome. Number 2, updating and adding more playlist type things. Make like that Zelda playlist.
Fixing the ones they put on
Zelda
there,
playlist. Let's not have 3 versions of Zelda's Lullaby followed by a 6-second sound effect in a playlist.
Yeah. The first 2 things are like 6-second sound effects.
It's not good. They need to adjust this playlist and add more playlists to make it more fun. Like I don't know. Just make it better. It's just not good right now, and that's fair. And the last thing, Drip, is the thing that you're missing. Big time. You mentioned it, but you didn't. I don't think you put it together that what's stopping Nintendo from I know they don't necessarily own that music, but they don't. They can get that music, that orchestral Wind Waker, that's the Skyward Sword CD soundtrack, all of that music can get put into this app. And more.
It could.
And
yes.
more.
If they went to the people who made it and, paid them and had that, they could do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Will they do that is the question.
I don't know. I don't know, Drip, but it's the possibility of it.
Okay, that is cool. That would be cool. That I would love. Yeah. If they could do that, that would be really cool. But I don't see Nintendo playing ball like that. That's the problem.
No. It's not like they have to pay them a shitload of money and then the music's on the app. It can be a subscription service. Like this app could evolve outside of Nintendo Switch Online, or it could be an extra fee, or it could be an expansion of it. There's many ways they could go. It's all about making money. Nintendo loves making money. We know that.
Yes, but they're going to have to pay these people who have made these songs money to have their music on their app.
That is correct, but it's also a subscription service itself. It could make money. As long as Nintendo's making money, they're not going to have a problem with it. So go to game shops, the YouTube channel, the composer, I'm not sure what you call them. Go to them and say, listen, we love your Zelda and chill stuff. We love it all. We want it on our app. Let's work together.
God, I just feel like Nintendo, just seeing the way they operate and seeing what they do, I don't see them going to somebody like that and be like, hey, let us pay you to put the music that we basically own on an app that we own that you made. We have to pay.
That's the really cool way, Drip. That's the really cool way Nintendo could go.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
The lame way is to exist how it is now. It never gets any better than this. This app is almost as is and will stay this way. They won't put any more money or effort into it. It's just a little baby thing to add to Switch Online to give value. And that is something Nintendo could do. They could very easily just go, we made it. It's done. Enjoy. We're going to add a couple things here and there, and like we do, drop a game on NSO, and that's it.
I didn't see that.
But they could also do more, and that's what I see is them doing more and making this awesome.
Did you? I only watched the trailer once. Did they say anything at the end about adding to it?
Yes, I forget what they said exactly, but I do remember them saying that they are going to be adding stuff just like they would add stuff to NSO.
Yeah, add stuff. Cool, great. Like, man, enjoy it. That's cool. If you're into that, awesome. I will go listen to better versions of them elsewhere. But that's cool. Whatever. It's there.
That's fair. You're also wrong. Moving on. What are we moving on to, Drip? We didn't really start the show. We just started by yelling at each other, which is
fine.
It's fine. I'm getting a little disorganized here. What is it? Oh yeah. Well, are they going to copyright? Did we talk about that? Are they going to copyright ding us for using this service? We talked about that?
Yeah, well, you and I kind of touched on that. But there's already stuff out there. There are rules on this stuff, I would imagine, apply to this too. I'm guessing it applies the same as it does to their YouTube, trailers and stuff that we use as B-roll in my videos and, music and stuff that they have. I mean, the rules basically you can use it as long as you have something else over top of it. You can't just take their stuff and then re-upload it as is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if they put out a trailer for a new game, you can't take that trailer and then just record it on your screen and then put it back on YouTube as your own thing. They don't want people doing that. But you can use it for their own, well, depending on what it is, because sometimes Pokemon's like, no, you can't touch our stuff. And sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes it's weird. I would imagine that we could probably use it. But again, the problem is trying to get it to a place where we could actually use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Figure Drawing in the chat says, it's the point that any official Nintendo Music app is better than nothing.
Sure. Okay.
That's another thing why I don't understand why you don't just think it's basically cool. Like it's the fact that it exists is better than if it didn't. I'm gonna use it, man. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna listen to some tracks here and there.
Great. Do it. I hope you do, and I hope you have a great time doing it. I am not gonna stop you from doing that. I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you do.
You know what else I really enjoyed, Drip?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it when Nintendo does a direct But without doing one, they just do it on Twitter?
Not quite. We're not there yet.
Damn.
I enjoy doing shows without you. I enjoy doing shows without you because you're not there to annoy me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I missed you a lot last week. So I did the show last week on my own, as a lot of you guys listened to. Thank you very much for being there.
Yes, on my way home last week, I listened to it and I was like, damn. He needs me right now.
So he
needs me.
Predictably, I got a few things wrong, and I was missing some context on other things from last week, and I just want to do a couple little mini corrections from last week, starting with ukulele, which is what the game is called, not Yuka-Play, which is what I was calling it. The original game, ukulele. Thank you, Drip, for correcting me. By Playtonic. Thank you, everybody else, for correcting me on that one.
What did you call it?
Slaytonic. Slay, sister, slay. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Change their name to that, though.
I'm not sure exactly why I called it Slaytonic. Could be multiple different reasons, but I did. But it doesn't matter because it's Playtonic
Because it's a way
Studios.
cooler name, and they should change their name to that.
Slay, sister. But ukulele is a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, I was calling it a Mario Odyssey knockoff. It's really just a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor, clone, if you will.
I'm pretty sure that people who used to work at Rare, who made Banjo-Kazooie, made this.
Yes.
And this is supposed to be a Banjo-Kazooie style game. And it's not one that I played, but reviewed really well. It's held in pretty high regard among people who have played it.
Yeah. And also, ukulele came out on Switch 1, and you told me that it had really bad performance.
It did have performance issues, and that is why. Okay, so this is the thing you were talking about. Oh, is it a Switch 2 or is it just they're just trying to get some? It's definitely going to be a Switch 2 game. They're not going to put a better version on the Switch because it already didn't run on the Switch.
Right.
The original didn't, and it wasn't on other platforms. They're releasing it on the other platforms and stuff now, Xbox, PlayStation, stuff like that. So, this is definitely a Switch 2 game. Whatever the Switch 2 is.
And not a Switch OG game, which is what I think I assumed that it would be coming to it.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be on Switch 1.
It makes sense. The way you describe it, it makes complete sense. It couldn't run. If it's a graphically
it's a better
version than the original, and the original already can't run on this hardware, why would they release it on their OG Switch? So they're not going to. So... Correction. That all that stuff is correction from last week. And one more thing, I don't remember what it was, but you said something I was wrong about Pokemon Leaker, like the guy.
Oh no. Yeah, you were wondering how they got in.
Yeah.
I lost you. Hang on, I can't find you. I need to be able to see you. There you are. Hey.
Hi. How you doing?
Okay. So I guess it was one of the employees opened something in an email that they shouldn't have opened. It was a phishing scam, basically. Clicked on something they shouldn't have clicked on, and that gave this guy who did this leak access to everything, which is nuts.
I believe in last week's episode I had said that he's not like a guy who's like regularly doing this. It's just a guy who knew how to get in. That still could be true. It could be someone who's not normally doing this, but just figured out an easy way to get in. Or it's more likely somebody who does this all the time. If it's a phishing scam, like you say, I'm assuming the person who did that does this stuff all the time to lots of places and doesn't usually work, but it did finally work with, unfortunately, the Pokemon company here. So,
because they got in.
But phishing scam even adds to my argument from last week of how shitty that guy is. Like that is just, it's just bad.
Yeah,
just bad.
I mean, it's bad.
That guy
very,
sucks.
very bad.
Like at first, I thought he was kind of like, oh, I see what he's doing here. He's just trying to. No.
He's
like,
an asshole.
He's a fucking asshole, and this whole thing sucks. And it blows. So fuck that guy. And also fucking passed me for messing up last week. No, I'm just kidding. Wasn't that bad.
Oh no.
Anywho, let's move on. I know, guys, you clicked this video for Switch 2. We're gonna get that into in a second. But we're gonna talk about the past week of Nintendo, and it has been a big week, a big 8 days for Nintendo. Not sure if you guys.
Biggest thing of all.
What is the
Just
biggest?
Dance 2025?
Hell yeah! Just dancing.
Obviously,
dude.
That's what we've all been waiting for.
I have so many of those. Well, I don't have them. Mrs. Jeep has them from the Wii. She has all of the Just Dances, like all of them from the Wii. Like I could play them.
That's when that was the heyday of Just Dance, man. The Wii.
Yeah. She even has like 2016, and I'm thinking like you have like the 2016. Just in 2016, I had a job and was working for Amazon as a grown ass adult, and you're buying Just Dance for the Wii in 2016. Yeah, but
did you know that they put them out for the Wii even after the Switch was out and the Wii U was out? Yeah. It still came out for Wii.
That's crazy.
Which is it's because that's where they sold, and they had all these Just Dance things in like. Whatever, nursing homes, classrooms, like wherever, people were still buying them. So they still put them out. I think what they put out 2017 or 18, 19 was the last one.
2020. We recently talked about this.
Was it 2020?
It was 2020.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. But that's wild. That's crazy, dude. For the Wii in 2020.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so I'm gonna go over a bunch of these announcements, full announcements from Nintendo that. Once you see the full list here, and I'm sure there's something I'm leaving off that could be added into a direct, and I'm sure there could have been one or two things that they didn't announce on Twitter that they do have in their back pocket for later that could have been in this direct if they chose to do a direct. But anyway, let's go through this list. Starting off with Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete. So you know more about this than I do. What is this?
Did you play it at all? Did you download it?
I did download it. I played for like I got just to get the coins, the Nintendo Platinum points, and that was it.
Yeah. I wanted the sign. That's really all I wanted. I wanted the sign. If you downloaded it and made an account and stuff, you got to sign in New Horizons. But I needed it to build something. I actually just needed the backside of it, which is we don't need to get into all that. But it's basically it was a mobile style Pokemon game. But there were microtransactions, this, that,
you said
whatever.
Pokemon game.
Animal Crossing game. Sorry.
Okay.
It's an Animal Crossing game. It was cool. You're spending some money in it, though.
It reminded me of Wild Worlds a little bit, graphically and the way it played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't play a ton of it. It seemed cool. Again, I wasn't trying to like go into all the stuff, whatever. But now they're putting out a version of it that's complete, and it's going to cost $10. It's just going to be an app that costs $10, and everything in it you can just get. There's no more microtransactions. It's just basically a regular, it's a regular game. It's just on the phone instead of on a Switch, which I am actually more interested in that being that style of thing. But what's really weird about all that entire space in mobile games and all that stuff, like for me and you, I think you would probably agree with me that a $10 full complete experience where I don't have to buy anything else or do anything else is something that I would like. And I feel like we are actually, when it comes to things on the phone and people playing things on the phone, we're in the minority in that, which is absolutely strange.
Absolutely. Well, think about this. The main audience is kids for those types of games. And kids don't have any real concept of what kind of money, real world money they're spending. They just know that they like the dopamine hit from the aspect of microtransactions. So I think a lot of adults out there, I'm not saying all, but I know a lot of adults out there are among the mindset of you and I. I'd rather just pay a down payment on it and have access to the app, traditionally, like a traditional game. I think most kids out there, even young adults, they don't really have that concept of how money is valuable and precious, and just kind of wasting all of their money on some microtransactions for dopamine.
Man, V-Bucks. Just give me the V-Bucks.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. It's not even like anybody's fault in particular. Well, it's not. It's the developers' fault who create these microtransaction games, but it's not the people playing its fault, really. It's literally science. It's dopamine. It's just, it's literally like a drug that gets inserted in your head.
Well, I mean, either way, that's why I didn't really like it. Didn't really want to do all that. But now it's just a complete thing. It's there. There's other things in it, though. All your, if you have been playing the game, anything you bought, all your progress, everything you have, everything that's going on in the game just carries over.
Yeah.
Here's the kicker, though. This is where I'm like, you're kind of assholes, Nintendo. You're kind of being dicks. So even if you've been playing this game and dumping money into it for however many years you've been dumping money into it, if you want the complete version, you still have to pay $10 more, which to those people, you've already put that much money in it. What's $10 more? But correct. I feel like you should just give it to, like, they've spent probably thousands of dollars and just give them the fucking $10 game. Just let them have it.
I agree, but that's not how business works, unfortunately. Drip,
I understand. I get it. It's just, God bless. Like,
let's move on from Pocket Camp because that's not the focus here. It's just one thing that Nintendo announced, and it's pretty significant.
That one's big. Yeah, that one's cool.
So again, Just Dance 2025 and Fitness Boxing 3,
which is the biggest. Yeah, we've already covered that.
Those two announced. Banjo-Tooie was announced. I believe that was like the first one, 8 days ago or so.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, which is cool.
Banjo-Tooie. I mean, it's a 64 game coming on to the 64 app. That's pretty cool.
Good. A very good 64 game.
A couple more 64 games: Shadow Man and Turok 2 for the N64 app.
Did you ever play Turok 2?
No.
Did you ever play Turok 2?
A lot of people have talked about it. I've never played it.
Oh my god, it's so sick.
When I was playing Nintendo 64, I was not allowed to play those mature games because I was a child. You know. I was playing Mario Kart and Mario Party back then. I was not playing Turok. I also, as a young kid, at that point, I was, between 5 and 8 years old, whatever. You weren't interested in Turok. It's not something.
Oh man, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I remember watching my stepdad and my brother both try to beat the final boss in Turok 2. God, it was like days they were trying to beat this final boss.
Yeah,
that was a cool game. That's a good one. The music app. Hey, the music app.
Yeah, we talked about that already. That music app. Yeah, but
massive.
But then a non-Nintendo game that again, this could have been a direct. Yakuza Kiwami. I think I pronounced that. I don't know for sure, but another Yakuza game, which is a not insignificant announcement to tweet out like that, especially in the context of all these other tweets surrounding it. It's like, yeah, this was a direct that they just pieced out throughout days on Twitter, and I'll get to this too. There's one more thing because the next thing is going to get into our segue. But not to mention, of course, Mario Party Jamboree, which is already released, and Mario
2 weeks
Brothership comes out November 7th, which is would be
week, right?
Guaranteed things they talk about in a direct as well. But and they tweeted about both of those things, but that's
the one I'm actually. I think I'm going to get that.
I have no interest at all, unfortunately. I don't even like the art style really. I just there's nothing about it that I like very much.
I like the art style a lot. I really like the art style.
Hey, Drip, I don't think it's that cool.
And you know what, Gene? I think that's fine that you don't think it's that cool. I think that's totally fine. You know what? I'm glad that you have that opinion. I value that opinion. I'm here to tell you that you are heard and you are seen. And I completely
this time
disagree with your opinion, but I'm glad that you have it, and I'm glad you are you here to tell me about it.
This time of year, happens every 4 years. A lot of opinions that I don't value very much. Catch my drift. But I'm glad that you value my opinion right now.
I do.
Again, the last thing here. In this fake Nintendo Twitter Direct. You like that?
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade is finally dropped on Switch, guys. The last Xenoblade game that has not been ported to Switch has finally been ported to Switch. The big one that everyone's been wanting, especially the Xenoblade people, have been wanting. It's one of the few Wii U games left that has not been ported to Switch. Has been ported. It will be ported on March 20th, 2025.
Is it the 20th? I thought it was the 25th.
It is the 2025, but it's March 20th.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because either way,
March 2025.
Yes.
And it's a definitive version, so it's got. I'm guessing. I don't know if there was DLC for that game. Is that what it includes?
I didn't play that game, but I was listening to Good Vibes Gaming talk about it when it dropped, and someone was informing me that there was a huge update. I believe it could have been a culmination of many things, including like performance update and content, but it was like a free update that added gigabytes to the file. So on the Wii U. So whatever that update was is included in this.
Substantial.
It's instead of having the game as it released before that come to Switch, the definitive edition, my guess is based off the way Nintendo releases definitive editions, what's included. It's good if there was DLC to be included. So, I don't know. Those of you it's a very easy Google search for those of you who want to know, but the definitive version.
Xenoblade's just not my thing. That's cool. I'm glad it's coming. Yeah, that's cool that every Xenoblade game is now available on the Switch.
Every Pikmin game's on the Switch. and every Xenoblade game is on the Switch.
They know what they're doing, man. And they know what they're doing with that. I'm glad they finally got something like that part of all this. At least they've got it figured out. Highest selling system of all time. Get every game on there you possibly can. We're still missing some though.
We are missing.
We're missing a few. Important ones.
The highlight ones
I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I'll say their names because Jerv's not allowed. And he said it on the phone earlier, guys. And I just want you to know that I called him out for saying it because he's not allowed to say it at all. He's not allowed to say it at all. And I hold him to that standard. Okay, I hold him accountable, guys. I want you to know. I hold him accountable for this. He cannot talk about the fact that Wind Waker or Twilight Princess is not on the Switch. Shockingly, at this point. So those two are the biggest two. I think those are the biggest two games not to be on Switch, especially when you consider all the freaking Zelda games on the Switch. It's crazy that they don't just add those two. Also missing, that's still on the Wii U forever and ever. Star Fox, is it Zero? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Zero. I don't think that one's ever going anywhere.
And that one, to my understanding, has more complications based on what you've told me with the gamepad functionality.
Yeah, I just
it'd be more difficult to get that one to Switch than a lot of the other games.
They could do it, but I just feel like at this point it's like that. It wasn't I don't know. Maybe it would be better if it just was like a normal playable. I don't know.
We'll never know because until they put it to Switch, but that day's to come. And hey, Drip, honestly, dude, I'd be happy for Wind Waker Twilight Princess. I already have those two games and available to play on my Wii U or otherwise. But the game that I would really, really want to see to come to Switch because I think it's the best Yoshi game that ever come out is Yoshi Woolly World. That game is not on Switch for some reason. Crafted World's there, and Yoshi's Woolly World is not.
That'd be an easy one.
If you guys played Crafted World and you've never played Woolly World, you'd be like, "Oh, this is what the game should feel like." Like, there is some quality of life things that's in Crafted World. Honestly, it should have been a DLC update for Woolly World. Like that. If you look at Crafted World like just like as a DLC update for Woolly World. And just like, and there's a few things that are different. It's a newer, better game. I won't lie. It's a newer, Crafted World's newer and better. But the original game, Woolly World, is just a better experience overall. Like, if it would have had the niceties that they put into Crafted World, it would have been a light years better game, Woolly World, than Crafted World. But
could you imagine? I mean, Definitive Edition, Woolly World Definitive Edition, adding some quality of life things to the game.
Yeah,
we could still get it. We could still get that one easy. That's one that I feel like I don't know how it's sold. I mean, obviously not well. It was on the Wii U.
I'll find out. You keep talking. I'll find out.
It didn't sell well. I mean, it probably sold okay, maybe as far as like Wii U standards go, but obviously didn't sell well. One thing you'd think they'd want to recoup some of the money like they've done with every other game.
Yeesh.
Did it sell? Is it that bad?
Wait,
wow, your face.
It's just the U. Oh, this is just the UK.
Oh, okay.
So this is on Wikipedia. Just the UK, 1.37 million. That's for the Wii U. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good, and that's just the UK. What about Japan? What about the US?
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet you that might be a 3 million seller right there, which for the Wii U is spectacular. It only sold 16 million copies of the system.
So why not put it on why is that one of the ones that's been left behind? Star Fox Zero, I understand. Woolly World, I don't. The two Zelda games, I told you my thoughts on those earlier today, and I just kind of feel like now that we know, at this point, those are not coming to this version of the Nintendo Switch as a release for this version of the Switch. You made a weird face. What's happening?
Yeah, sorry. Again, this is Wikipedia. I'm not sure how accurate this is. Take a guess which game sold more, Breath of the Wild or Yoshi's Woolly World on Wii U?
Well, the way you're talking about it, I'm going to guess it's Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U.
It's not, but both of them sold like crap. Which I'm not too surprised at Breath of the Wild. I'm a little,
at that point,
but not too surprised because, of course, most people, not all, but most people bought it on Switch, not Wii U. So
you have a copy of the Wii U version, don't you?
I do. So Breath of the Wild Wii U sold 1.7 million. Yoshi's Woolly World sold 1.57. So I don't think that 1.37 for UK is accurate, or this isn't accurate. I don't know which one's true. I'll find out later and let you guys know.
Yeah, either way,
it's according to Wikipedia here, this list, it's the 14th best-selling Wii U game, which is not high at all. But context,
Wii U.
the number 1, number 2, number 3 best-selling games: Mario Kart 8, Super Mario 3D World, and I'm sorry.
Maker?
New Super Mario Bros. U.
Wow, really?
So Mario Kart was
Mario Maker?
8.46, Super Mario 3D World 5.89, and Mario Bros. U was 5.82. Mario Maker was number 7, believe it or not.
Wow.
At 4.02. Not very much at all. So again, kind of all pointless to say here, but the Wii U games didn't sell very well. And there's only a handful here. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Star Fox, and Yoshi, and maybe some others that we don't know about, but the big ones, especially first party, those are the ones that aren't on Switch yet.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshi's Woolly World needs to be there. That's one that they need to get their money, make some money off that. You could easily put that on the Switch. I mean, who knows? Maybe we still will, because it sounds like, maybe a while, but we'll talk about that in a second. The Wind Waker and Twilight Princess thing now, the more I talk about it, the more I think about this not coming to the Switch and how it just seems like, why? Why are they waiting? Why are they waiting? Why are they waiting? These are already HD remakes. They're already HD remakes.
Yeah.
It would be kind of weird when they're putting, they did Skyward Sword HD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're getting the HD versions. Like, why re-release the same HD version again when you could wait and then call it something different, a 4K version, maybe do something different. This is an opportunity to take those games instead of just porting them just as is, to give them another shiny, oh, look, we polished it back up again.
Well, yeah.
It gives it, you know what I mean? It gives it that a little bit more.
So I think the answer, what you're looking for here is they're going to call it definitive. They're not going to call it 4K. The only reason reason they called it HD in the first place was not because simply it was HD. It was because its predecessor wasn't HD at all.
Right.
And now look guys, the game that you loved and played before, it's now HD. You can play it on your HD TV with HDMI cable. That was a feature.
Skyward Sword too,
when that stuff was happening back then, when those games were releasing with the HD tag, that was because you couldn't even play those games previously with an HDMI cable. So now people are like, oh, like my new TV, I can play these games HD now on my new TV.
Right, but you're saying back when that was happening, I mean, it just happened again. Skyward Sword HD. That just happened a couple years ago.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
So who knows? Maybe they will end up calling it. Maybe we'll get Breath of the Wild 4K, Wind Waker 4K. We'll just get a bunch of weird Zelda 4Ks.
Correction.
Over
Hold on, I just thought of a correction here. Skyward Sword was not HD before Skyward Sword HD.
I know it wasn't.
So it's not. So what's the point you're trying to make here?
The point I was making is you were saying that, whenever they were porting those over to making them HD back then, it was like, oh, yeah, you can play them on your HD TV. I thought you meant
Skyward Sword
back then, it's a big deal because HD TVs are like a big deal now.
Well, yes, but also my main point is that the games prior to the HD version were not playable in HD. So that's why they were trying to sell these games and saying, hey, your new HD TV, you can play this game in HD. And Skyward Sword's included in that, because when it came out in 2011, while there was plenty of HD TVs out there, they, for some reason, didn't make Skyward Sword in HD. It was just because it was the Wii. It was the Wii's fault. The Wii only outputted 480p, which is not HD. I got you. Anywho.
Well, I think we're going to get those on the Switch, too. But I can tell you this, Jeeb, we're not going to be getting those anytime soon on a Switch 2, because I don't think this thing is going to be talked about at all in 2024. As much as we thought they were going to tell us things, I think that's done. It's over.
Yeah,
I think
guys,
it's time to throw in the towel.
It is time to take your towel, and I don't have a towel with me, but here's the towel. Here's a towel. Take your towels.
It's a towel. If you throw that, I swear to God, I'm leaving.
Take your eyeglass lens cleaner and throw it away, because the Switch 2 is dead. It's done. It's never coming out. They're not making it.
All
the leaks and rumors, they were bogus. My uncle's brother's cousins from Nintendo told me that his sister said that her brother-in-law's husband said it's done. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, guys, I'm not sure at this point who's trying to sell you guys right now that the Switch 2 is coming in 2024. We, for one thing, Drip and I, multiple times this year, tried to sell you that information. Not because we had an agenda, because we just kind of had an opinion. Especially earlier in the year. Yeah.
Because it made sense then.
Yeah, I actually went back, Drip. I didn't tell you this. I went back and listened to a few of our old episodes from this year, the early episodes of the season 4. And January, we were all in, right? We were like,
dude, yes. We were ready in January. I remember.
Yeah, we were ready in January. And I think our first episode of the year, episode 1 of season 4, was like, this is the year. The title and thumbnail was like,
it's happening.
It's happening. This is the year. And that was a different, informational landscape then. We had way different information then than we do now. And the information we have now is not looking good. And it's a lot of it's just feel, but also a lot of it is common sense. And I know you want to talk about a lot, Drip. Kit and Krista put out their podcast recently. Actually, it wasn't a podcast. It was just like a YouTube video. And go ahead.
So they talked a lot about, I think the title of the video was like, it's not happening this year. Like, no announcement, it's not going to happen. That's basically what they're trying to get across.
Kit and Krista
in the video
used to be Nintendo employees.
Right. They worked at Nintendo. They know, they give a lot of good stuff, which I'll go over some of the stuff they went over. Like, a lot of this stuff people talk about, and you hear people talk about some of this stuff, and you're like, that makes sense. But then you hear people who worked at Nintendo tell you that most of this is bullshit. And that's not how this works at Nintendo. Things are completely different. I can tell you right now, after watching that and really just kind of thinking about it and looking at things, like, this was never happening. This was never happening this October. Ever. Never. It was not ever in the cards, I don't think, after stopping, taking a look back. Because if it was going to happen in October, this was the week.
Yeah.
We talked about it today
I feel
on the
like
phone.
As we've gotten, especially to double digits in this year, but like from like August to now, and not even, maybe even July, we've been getting more progressively down on the possibility. Because again, every month that passes, it's less likely that it's happening.
It's done,
and I think since September, I've already moved on. Like when August came and went, no Switch 2, I've kind of mentally already been preparing for the fact that it's not coming this year.
Yeah. I mean, October was always one that a lot of people said it could happen, because that's when the Switch was announced, and that's true.
You remember recently when we made our bets? Recently?
Yeah.
And
you said October,
I said this, it was this week of October. It was during this week, the one we're in right now.
Which, God, I mean, it could have, but at this point, we're Wednesday night right now as this is being recorded. The chances of it happening tomorrow are slim to fucking none.
Yeah.
Probably not. We'll give it the 0.001% chance just because, but it's not happening. And they're not, like, after this week, man, we're done. We're into holiday shopping season, and honestly, we've already been in holiday shopping season. Yeah. It starts earlier and earlier every year. Like, not only do they start putting out the Halloween decorations in Walmart and Target earlier, the Christmas decorations out, Walmart, Target, everywhere earlier. All the holiday sales start earlier because people want to start doing this stuff earlier and earlier all the time. Every year it's earlier. That's something that they talked about in that video. Having worked at Nintendo and knowing how these things happen, they were both talking about how Nintendo's on top of this stuff. Daily reports on things. Not only, that's another thing I want to touch on. Like, we're going to get into the other part of this, why it's not happening right now for sure. But just trends in when people are buying things, what people are shopping for, what they're saving for, like how people spend money. Nintendo looks at all of this stuff in detail. They have people whose job it is to make sure that they know when are good days to do these things, when are bad days to do these things, when they should be even thinking about dropping an announcement. I mean, somebody at Nintendo, which, I mean, hey, I don't know. I need to have a conversation with this guy because I don't know. Somebody at Nintendo said tonight was the night for the music app. Somebody was like, this is prime fucking time. This is it. Drop that shit tonight. It's gonna be a hit. You wait. Somebody, I mean, I'm being funny, but that's somebody's job at Nintendo. They look at all this stuff.
Well, hey, Drip, I'm not sure if Japan celebrates Halloween or not, but it's currently Halloween for them. They announced this app the morning of Halloween for them. And I'm looking at the app here. I ain't see no Luigi's Mansion music on here. So
that's kind of messed up.
How could they release this app on Halloween and not have Luigi's Mansion music?
That would be okay. See, that would have been great. I could have played that as I was trick or treating with the kids in my pocket. Some spooky.
So now you see the value of this, right?
Dude, I would have if it was there, but it's not. There you go. See? They messed up. Anyway, back to my point. They watch this stuff. They know.
Yeah.
This wasn't happening. But there's something else that's very, very big. You have to remember this. North America is Nintendo's biggest market. This is where they make most of their money is here. And a big part of that is the United States. And we have something very, very important going on right now. That is taking up a ton of the air in the room, a ton of the news, a ton of people's attention, and that's the election.
The United States presidential election.
I mean, dude, I don't know how we didn't put this together, but like hearing somebody that's worked there and talk about this, it's very clear. Why would they do that? Why would they even try to put something like that out?
And not just right the week before or the week after or during the week. Anytime close, anytime remotely close to it. Like the past month has been the most tumultuous throughout the entire election. And it's only getting worse day by day. There's no way a month before or a month after, because by the way, if you guys don't understand how it works in our country, like just because the election is done by, the day after, or like even it could take up to a couple days, but we know who wins the presidency by the next morning, right? By the early morning of the next day, we know who wins presidency. It's a process that goes up through January, right?
They're still counting votes and doing stuff and making sure stuff.
If it goes the way it did the last time, it's it could.
Okay, we don't need to get into all that.
We're not going to get into that. But the point is, Drip, is that anywhere near November, like. November, the month of November is off limits. And up until January, off limits, because that's all election noise that they're not gonna and cannot compete with. And going previous to that, like September, maybe yes, but like you're getting there in September, and by October you can't either.
Right. But think about this. Think about this.
It was never going to happen during the month, the period of October.
And there's more proof
to January. They're not going to announce this thing.
And there's more proof that is their thinking. Because what do we get every year? A September Direct.
Yeah.
What did we not get this year? What did they move away as far earlier?
September
they put
Direct.
Everything earlier into August to keep it away from what's happened. That is why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
All these things were like, because they're good. No, it's to get away from the election, get their announcements out ahead of when this stuff starts happening.
And these tweets.
Yeah, that's why there's not a Direct right now.
They're
just putting them out.
They don't need an event. They just want to inform and release. They still business still has to continue. They can't just take off of business for the next 4 months. But they're not trying to compete with attention and get and really. It makes complete sense why we had this Twitter Direct.
Well, and that's another thing too. Yeah, like I said, like they have people who are watching like all these things about who buys what and what. Like they are watching what's going on in our election right now daily. They have daily updates on what's happening, what people are talking about.
Not our words, not assumptions. Straight a good time to do that? From the mouths of people who've been through it during U.S. elections.
And they said that they were involved in some of the teams that were doing some of this stuff, setting these things up, these released plans for whatever it is for this, a game, a console, like they were involved in that stuff. So they would know. And it does make a lot of sense. I mean, I can tell you this, man, I still think, and I think this is probably the place we should go with this conversation and maybe kind of recalibrate what we think is going to happen, when we're going to see this thing actually be talked about. Because I do have a little bit of, I still think March is a possibility for a release.
Like a release or an announcement?
A release.
Okay. I don't think.
And the reason I say that, it depends on how long they wait. April, May seems to be more probably likely at this point, just because. I mean, we've heard it's going to be the first half of the year. It doesn't have to be.
I don't even care about a release. We shouldn't even be talking about when it's going to release. That really, even if we nail, let's say you and I both right now nail the announcement date. That doesn't mean we have any idea when the release is going to be. It could be as short as the same day, which they would never do. But it is a non-zero possibility that it could be that. It's also non-zero possibility that it could be within the same month. They could drop an announcement, and then within the same month, 30 days or so.
Still unlikely, but possible.
So, yes. And most likely, well, I shouldn't say most likely, it could be 3 months, which is short but realistic. And it could be 6 months, which they've done before.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The point I'm saying is we shouldn't be trying to predict a release date for the system because we have no fucking clue. That could be any time. And we should be focusing on an announcement date for the thing because that honestly, that's up next anyway. The release isn't up next anyway. It's the announcement. We still need the announcement. So I want to try to predict with you tonight the announcement date because that's what is. If we nail that, we're good. Because then after, who cares after that? We're gonna get it. We just need to. We need to see it. We need to know what it is. Who cares when it's coming out after that point? It's coming out soon after the announcement.
Hang on, sorry, I'm getting a redirect going.
Okay.
Okay. I do want to talk about that just really quickly. That's fine. We can talk about the. I think you're right. You've said this, and I kind of disagree with you at first, but I keep thinking about it more and more. Like, if there's not a gigantic thing that has to be explained and showed off, and there's not a really crazy hard to understand.
Yeah, like a brand new controller
feature. Yeah, like something
with a screen on
weird.
It.
Like they don't really need that long of a lead up. 3 months is plenty. It's really, honestly, like, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 months, that's plenty. They don't really need to do anything.
So
they could announce and release this system, which we did just talk about. January is probably not the greatest time. Maybe later in January, and still could come out in March. It's still possible.
It's possible, but here's the thing. It's also possible that our election is going to leak past January into February. It's not. Yeah. If certain events happen that I'm not going to get into, but can cause.
It doesn't matter.
Can cause that can cause delays to our process.
It's going to happen. No matter who wins on either.
No. No
matter who wins, it's going to be chaos.
I know. What I'm saying is the chaos can turn into actual delays of our process. Yeah. It can like real world, real time delays to the process. Like we always do, our president has always handed the new president's always handed the stick. What is it? It's just January 20th, right? It's the date. That's inauguration day. It could leak into February if things get real world reasons make it delay. So I'm saying this because it could be going into February, and that's what these people are going to be updating Nintendo on. And if our process takes us into February, they're going to have to push back their system announcement anyway. So they're not. I guarantee you right now, they're not even considering January. And the earliest that they're advising Nintendo that they could do this, the earliest is February. And that was my prediction. But after what Kate and Chris has said, maybe kind of rethink things. And while I still want to say February, my initial thought was early February. But because that's so damn close to like the edge of what they shouldn't be doing, touching January, I think the earliest we can expect this is the end of February, the announcement, the end of February. I think that is the most. I think that's earliest. Not the most likely. That's just the earliest at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's reasonable. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right about that. I think honestly, what happens with our election and how things go with that is going to be a big factor on when they decide they're in the clear enough to talk about this, and there's not things in the way, and it's just wide open spaces. I'm gonna go with a date that I still think something's going to happen. I was hoping it was going to be the release date, but I'll say it's the announcement date now. March 10th, Mario Day announcement.
That is a solid day at this point. Like it was funny before when he said it, and now that it's in context with everything. Yeah. Man, give it to I think I'd rather wait 2 extra weeks just to have it on Mario Day. Like that'd be so fun, especially if there's a 3D game shown during the trailer. And
it's a Monday, which is not a good day to release something, but definitely a good day to announce something.
Yes, it is. Coming off the weekend, people are waiting, seeing. They're not expecting it. Maybe right there Monday morning.
At that point, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Mario Day coming up. If it's not announced by Mario Day, knowing that they said it's going to be announced by the end of the month, people are going to be on that.
I'm going with you.
It's going to be huge.
I'm going with you with Mario Day. I'm sold on the Mario Day. Like at this point, with everything that's going on, Mario Day seems like a great day to announce the thing. Let's not forget about this too, Drip. Let's not forget that there is a window when they have to announce this thing. They've given themselves that window, and it's by the end of March.
Yeah, they would have 21 more days after that.
Yeah,
where it can be possible it's not done.
Their investors would throw a fit
to do it
if they didn't announce it before then, because they said they would do that for their investors. So Mario Day is the perfect fucking day.
I think that's a good announcement.
I'm just gonna say February 27th. I'm not holding myself to that, and if I get it right, I had sources.
Well, and that's another thing too we didn't really touch on. That I do want to bring up before we end this podcast. The Xenoblade thing. I know a lot of people look at that date and they're like, "Oh, well, fuck. They're not gonna have like that." Doesn't mean shit.
No, it doesn't. Xenoblade comes out March 20th.
Yeah, and it doesn't. That does not mean that as soon as they announce the Switch 2, they're just gonna say, "Yeah, it's coming to Switch 2 as well." And yes, it's gonna look better on the Switch 2.
They're also not
a big deal.
March 10th, they're also going to tell us. Well, I don't know about this guaranteed, but at some point they're going to tell us in this process that all the Switch games, unreleased or released, they're coming. You can play them on Switch 2, no cost.
Yeah, backwards compatibility.
Compatibility. So like, it's not going to matter.
If there's going to be some type of upscaling done to them just because of what's in the hardware. That's for another.
We could pay for that. Maybe they'll make us pay for that.
They might.
And not every game can have that, because that it's not just boom, it works, right? It's not like you flip a switch and suddenly it upscales things. It needs to be enabled from the developers, whether it's Nintendo or anybody. So it's not like every game is going to be, be able to be upscaled. So
yeah, that's another
because
podcast.
That's more time and money for those developers and everything. I guarantee you it's going to be a cost, whether or not it's a full $60 or $70 cost because they're making it a Switch 2 game, or like you could only buy that upscaled version on Switch 2, or it's like a $10 upcharge if you have previously purchased the old game, a la exactly what Sony is doing with Horizon right now. So they could go either way. Maybe they go weird and go in between. Maybe we've talked about this in the past. Maybe they even do this thing where they go NSO. If you have NSO, your games are right there on Switch 2. Upgraded. For the Nintendo games. Not everything, but the Nintendo games.
Now that's a NSO feature that I can get behind.
How much is NSO going to freaking cost by the time the Switch 2 comes out? Because let me tell you something. Hey, Drip, I'm going to tell the people right now. I bought a PlayStation. Ba-da-da-da. You have a sound for that?
Nope.
Yay! I bought a PlayStation, guys. I'm finally getting my first PlayStation 5. My first PlayStation is the PlayStation 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've played PS2. I've played a few minutes of PS3. Never played PS4. PS5, my first console I've owned since I was a kid.
I love my PS5.
PS1.
It's basically a Fortnite machine right now, but I do love it.
Well, I was bringing this up because I'm looking into the online subscription for PlayStation, and I recently found out the base subscription is $10 a month. A month. That means it's $120 a year, or if I choose all at once, it's $80 a year. Which I actually was slightly surprised it was that cheap, but $80 a year for one person, right? Or one console.
I do the premium, the high tier.
Where Nintendo is 20 or what is it, 20 or 25? I think it's $20 a year for one person. And
for the base.
Yeah, for the base. And 50, let's just go with the 50 option because that gives you the expansion and everything else, including the Nintendo Music app. A year. $50 a year, where this is $80. Oh, excuse me. I had an aggressive hiccup burp. Excuse me. $80 a year. So it's
I pay $20 a month
for the base. You pay $20 a month, and you get lots of games. But guess what? For the $50 a year for Nintendo, you get a ton of games for there.
Yeah.
So it's what I'm getting at is it's way more expensive. So Nintendo Online is a great deal. I can't believe people tell you otherwise. They just don't like what Nintendo has to offer, and that's fine. But don't say it's a bad deal. You just don't like what they're selling. It doesn't. It's silly to say it's a bad deal
for the people who want it. Yes.
I don't like McDonald's. Therefore, McDonald's is a bad deal. No, it's not. It's a great deal if you like McDonald's.
Actually, it's not a good deal. It used to be.
Well, yeah,
if you're hungry and it's quick,
You're true. It used
Not
to
a
be
good
better
deal anymore.
Well, hey, if you get all the apps, that's a great deal. Like Taco Bell right now, I can pick up for like $13 for $13. I can pick up like so much Taco Bell.
Dude, my oldest, for some reason, she's like obsessed with Taco Bell right now.
It's great, man. Because it's great. It's the best fast food.
It's not. Yo, listen, I made the best fucking quesadillas on the goddamn planet the other night. She was like, "Oh, we gotta get the quesadilla." I was like,
you made it on your grill, didn't you?
I didn't actually. I made it on no, but I mean, I did. I cooked. I did the chicken all nice, and then I put some. I made it really nice. I didn't do the grill; it was cold outside. I just did it, and I fried the tortillas, like put it all together, fried it in some oil, flipped it. I mean, the cheese is in there. I mean, dude,
did you use corn or flour? Oh, it's quesadilla.
Flour.
Quesadilla is usually flour, right?
Yeah. Then go corn. Went with the flour.
Yeah, I wonder how. I don't think that'd be as good. I'm a corn tortilla guy, but for quesadilla, I think you need flour.
You do. Yeah, I don't think a corn would be good with that.
No, it'd be a little bit weird tangent we got.
Either way. Hey, Mario Day. We're gonna see that switch. That switch too, finally. Mario Day.
And I don't want this to be like a downer thing, right? Because I think a lot of us are disappointed that it's not coming this year.
But it's fine.
But it is going to be fine, though. I mean, like, really, guys, like, that probably means there's going to be another big game coming up between now and then. Xenoblade's not going to be the only thing. Like, we can expect there's going to be another. Remember when we thought Tears of the Kingdom was the last hurrah?
Well, yeah, and think about this. Like, there's months coming up. Like, they don't do a lot in January.
Hey, Drip, I was sold about that, by the way. I was sold on that. I was sold that Tears of the Kingdom was the last game, and it just wasn't.
It's not even close.
No. What were you saying?
February is another month where we could get something, a game, announced, something like that, and then, I mean, dude.
Well, I mean, hey, there could be just a plain direct in February.
Yeah,
there could be.
Yeah, and honestly, like, man, I've been sitting here like, oh man, I need something to talk about on my YouTube channel, but like, dude, clearly people are very interested in what I have to say about the Switch Lite because I'm doing that right now, and.
Yeah, personally, you're feeling much better now, personally.
Oh, yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just talking about the Switch Lite. People seem to be interested, which I actually have like 3 more videos planned about things I would normally do for the regular Switch. I'm just going to do it with the Switch Lite.
Yeah, and as far as our show's concerned, for you and I both, I'm not concerned about the lack of Switch 2. I mean, we've been doing a great job not really going to that for a while now. And I think that trend's going to continue. I don't think I guarantee you guys there's not going to be I can't guarantee because there could be something crazy happening between.
If we get some leaks and some wild shit, we're obviously going to cover those.
Yeah, but there is no plans between now and the end of this year for us to have any title thumbnail that involves Switch 2. Like
this is it.
This is a lot. I did this intentional. This is the last one that we're going to do with intention. So I don't know, guys. There's plenty to talk about. We're going to talk about plenty this year. We're hoping you guys keep join us for the ride for the rest of the year into next year because it's going to be a fun year. Hope you guys help us get to 1,000 subscribers as well if you haven't done so already. If you're listening on audio platforms or just casually finding this podcast on YouTube, subscribe. We appreciate that. It helps us out, and we're almost there. We're almost there to full partnership.
We're close. We're very close.
Drip and I are going to also not do an after show tonight because we did an extended episode anyway. How long we were here for an hour and 15 minutes here for the actual episode itself, somewhere around that ballpark. So we're going to sign off for now, guys, and we're going to be looking forward to talking to you guys next week about something other than Switch 2.
The Switch Lite.
Next week, Switch Lite docs in the doc. Show me your Switch Lite docs. We'll catch you guys next week.
Later.